Humiliating indeed. It seems Meghan Markle does have ambitions to write a memoir, but publishers are rightly skeptical that her book will find an audience. As we know, when Harry and Meghan left their royal duties in 2020, they signed a lucrative 4-book deal with Penguin Random House. The first of those, Harry's memoir Spare, was released last month. But that still leaves 3 more books to come from the Sussex camp. Reports continue to swirl that Meghan has been working on a memoir of her own, separate from the Penguin Random House deal that produced Spare. Of course, many believe Meghan was the driving force behind Spare, even though only Harry is credited as author. So people are understandably curious what Meghan might include in her own memoir. Will it be yet another airing of grievances against the royal family, portraying her and Harry as blameless? Will she delve into details about her family and pre-royal life that haven't been shared before? It's hard to imagine what stories Meghan could tell that would genuinely interest the public at this point. It seems Penguin Random House may share these concerns. According to Neil Sean, publishers are demanding that Meghan submit some sample chapters before they agree to pay her any advance for the book. Sean says the memoir likely won't come out for a few years, but Meghan is intent on writing it. So we can presumably expect yet another book packed with Meghan's questionable version of events. Will it be any more truthful than Harry's book, which Meghan also seems to have authored? That seems doubtful. Of course, I can't independently verify Sean's reporting here. But the notion that publishers would want proof Meghan can actually produce an appealing memoir seems perfectly logical. After the Spotify and Netflix deals flopped, companies are right to be wary of simply handing over money to Meghan without evidence her projects will find an audience. For a publisher, demanding early excerpt chapters is a prudent move to avoid being burned, as others have before. So while humiliating for Meghan, perfectly understandable. According to Neil Sean, a few publishers did show interest. They feel they can make a buck, but it's all about the money they would have to shell out. Can you imagine the humiliation when they said they'd like to see at least 3 chapters first to see how the story pans out? In the world of publishing, this means one thing. They want to see if you've got a word. They want to see if you've got a worthwhile story. The sticking point is they can't trust giving anything out to a publisher without top-level security because it could get leaked and then the whole deal will be ruined. End quote. Oh, wouldn't that be so sad? So if we're to take Neil Sean's word for it, this isn't even going to be one of the 4 books that Harry made the deal with Penguin Random House for. And that does make sense. I'm not sure who exactly signed that contract, but maybe it really was only Harry. Maybe Meghan was never involved with that deal. And so it sounds like she's trying to make a deal with Penguin Random House, but it's not. Maybe she's trying to make some deals of her own. But if we look at Meghan's history, she's not very good at holding up her end of the deal, is she? Spotify is by far the best example of how Meghan completely ruined a good thing. I mean, that deal was a sweet one. All she and Harry had to do was come up with something, some kind of content that people would want to listen to. And people were going to give them a chance anyway, just because of who they are. So they didn't even have to come up with something absolutely amazing. I mean, something just mediocre would have been okay. But unfortunately, Archetype was not only incredibly stupid, it was also incredibly dull. And as it turns out, people actually don't want to hear Meghan Markle talk about how great and wonderful she is for hours on end. And how funny is it going to be if Meghan really is required to submit a few chapters before she's going to receive any payment for this book? And then the chapters do accidentally somehow get leaked because, well, nobody likes her. And then her plan I don't know what her plan is going to be to expose the royal family for God knows what, is absolutely ruined. And I know I should be a better person. I shouldn't wish that bad things happen to Harry and Meghan. But honestly, I mean, this would just be justice. It is funny, isn't it too, that it seems like these days, Meghan cannot do anything right. I mean, she's trying to lay low because she thinks that's going to make her reinvention or rebranding or whatever it is possible. But at the same time, other experts are warning that if she stays out of the spotlight for too long, people are going to forget all about her. And they'll say, well, when she tries to make this big comeback, nobody is going to be interested. Honestly, at this point, Meghan just needs to accept that she is finished. Her political career never took off and it never will. She is done in Hollywood. She can't write a book. She doesn't even know the difference between a memoir and a novel. Remember yesterday? I don't know if you saw the video, but I was reading from some article. I don't even remember what it was. But obviously it came from Meghan Markle because in one sentence, she was talking about how this is going to be a memoir. And then the next talking about how great this novel is going to be. I mean, honey, a memoir is not supposed to be a novel. A novel is a work of fiction. Which, to be fair, we do know this would be a work of fiction because it would be a bunch of lies. But Meghan Markle would try to claim that this all really happened to her. She had such horrible experiences while she was a working royal. They were so mean to her. Catherine didn't want to share her lip gloss with her. I don't know what she's going to put in that book, but I do know for sure I won't be reading it. All right, everybody, and now time for a little discussion. So earlier today, I was reading the comments that you guys left under the video, Sad News in Your Beginning. Harry decided to burn all of Diana's inheritance money for Meghan. In this video, we talked about, well, exactly that. How Harry has now spent all of his inheritance money. Apparently he got access to it when he was only 30 years old. So what exactly are he and Meghan going to do for money at this point? Well, we don't know, but we are happy. It's not our problem. Let's see what you all had to say. The first discussion was started by O3 Debra. Debra says, sadly, Meghan Markle makes the rest of us American women look bad. Not all of us are gold diggers looking to be taken care of. We know what it's like to work hard for what we have. That family is a major priority. And we also know we are to respect our elders and those above us in our employment. But one American woman looking for the next handout and trash-talking a woman who allowed her more opportunities before marriage is very disrespectful. And to bash the only parent who did all he could for her is also very disrespectful. Oh, Debra, you know I agree with you. I say this all the time. Meghan almost makes me ashamed to be American, but really she's the one who should be ashamed because she's the evil narcissist making the rest of us look bad. We got some replies too. Susie Q says, I think the rest of the world doesn't think she represents Americans. It's truly an accomplishment that Harry found the winner of the most horrible woman and married it. It is amazing, isn't it? I mean, he could not have chosen a worse woman. And thank you, Susie, for making me feel better that most people don't believe we're all like that. And then user IQ says, we love our genuine, caring American cousins. Rachel Meg targeted and legally nabbed a royal prince from our royal family. And in doing so, she has shown us his weak, resentful, spiteful side. Such an insightful comment, and you are absolutely right. I mean, I know Harry chose to be with her, but at the same time, did he really? Was he really able to do that? Was he able to make that choice? I think she brainwashed him completely. He fell for her hook, line, and sinker, all her lies, all her telling him that she was going to love him like nobody else could. The way I see it, he didn't stand a chance. The next comment I want to share comes to us from Kate London. Kate says, my heart sank to hear that Harry had access to all of Diana's inheritance to him at age 30. I assumed it was locked up tight in a trust, and he had only spent the interest on it. If Harry doesn't have that money anymore and he's burned his bridges with his dad and brother, then escaping from Meghan Markle becomes all the harder. No wonder he hasn't divorced her yet. He knows in California he'll have to give up half. They might not even have the house anymore. I've heard rumors they were renting it. It was just for show. No wonder I've been getting broke vibes from them. Meghan Markle spent his fortune on foolish outfits that didn't even fit properly. Oh Harry, your marriage to Meghan Markle was the most overpriced one-night stand ever. I can't decide if you deserve to be destitute all over your dumb choices or not. You are going to have to find employment, but except for being a prince, what are you qualified to accomplish? Such an eloquently composed remark, Kate. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. I mean, I am concerned about him too. And I am aware he is worthy of all the adverse things that come to him after what he has done to his family. But at the same time, I mean, he really has painted himself into a corner. I don't know how he's going to get out of this predicament. I mean, seriously, he is going to have to find a job. But what is he going to do? He's not very bright. He has no skills. He has no talent. I do worry about where he's going to end up eventually. Alright, unfortunately, I am sorry to say, but that's all the time that we've got for the present. But I want to hear your thoughts on this story that Meghan Markle is going to have to submit a few chapters of her memoir before they're going to compensate her anything. Do you think the publisher is going to approve it, or are they going to send it right back to her and tell her to dream on? Please let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please do like it and share it with all your friends and family who would enjoy it too. If you haven't already, click subscribe so that you don't miss a single update. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back to see you in the next video. Happy New Year 2024! I wish you a wonderful, prosperous, and joyful new year ahead.